Good afternoon once again. I'm John Fallett. It's August 26, 2025. You're tuned into a 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time webinar. Thanks for attending. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to some of you. I want to dive into our third week of setting yourself up for a successful annual enrollment period this upcoming 2025, call it 2026 annual enrollment period. We are, about 6 weeks away technically from the kickoff of AEP, right? So please get on, and I'll refresh a little bit in regards to what we've covered already. Making sure that your book of business is organized, that you have all of your data either on an Excel spreadsheet of some kind, or you have your data of your consumers housed somewhere. With that being said, how do you implement this data, right? Well, through our partnership with Agents Elite Tech, which will be announced in a week's time. This week, we're on to AI, understanding that ugly word of what AI is and how you can actually utilize it within running your business. So once again, thanks for tuning in. This week's webinar is utilizing AI in business for Medicare health life annuity agents effectively and efficiently. Once again, my name is John Fallett, and thanks for tuning in. Let's begin here. Compliance, tracking, and recording can no longer be ignored. CMS is going to start cracking down on carriers. They're going to continue to crack down on agents. Recognizing yesterday, right, the Congress had passed the bill that a TPMO is now distinguished separately from a field agent. If you weren't aware of that, that is huge news for everyone involved. Getting your marketing pieces approved with multi-plan codes, making sure that your calls are being recorded, making sure that every time you converse with that consumer, it's being documented. That is now part of your contract. Read your contracts. Look at the statements going through when you're taking your AHIP or your carrier certifications, which I've put a couple little snippets on here for you. There is no longer ignoring or hiding from recording calls. There is no longer ignoring or hiding, being as compliant as you can be, because you're now taking every conversation with that consumer and loading it in or having it automatically be loaded in. So AI obviously is a very scary word. And here in the Medicare world, dealing with the older adult population, that is certainly something that I hear on a daily basis. And oftentimes the AI, frankly, is set up incorrectly. And let me give you a prime example of this. About 2 weeks ago, a gentleman came into our office. He enrolled into a United Health Medicare supplemental plan. He had to enroll in a nonprofit organization to get that supplemental plan. And the entire call was an AI bot. And it worked brilliantly until it got him to his expiration date on his credit card. And you cannot teach an old dog new tricks oftentimes when you're dealing with this population. So it asked him, what is the expiration date of your credit card? And he said, August of 28. And the bot didn't understand. Asked him again, transferred him to customer service, transferred him back to the bot, asked him again. That bot through that nonprofit, someone needs to be reading that, seeing that you have the same hiccup every time, right? That you need to take apart the month and the year. What's your month of your expiration? What's your year of your expiration? You need to be able to change your AI around to make sure that it is convenient for everyone to use. Now, let's start here. AI is not new. It's not. And AI has been spread around like this wildfire, where frankly, a lot of it is just preemptive call buttons, right? Press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish. That could be considered AI. And it was technically 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago. We started utilizing AI when calling credit card companies or travel arrangements, what have you. It's classified as a prompt within a telephone system, but mentally, most everyone considers this AI. Well, May 1997, some of you aren't even that old. AI beat chess, right? And then it was just a couple of years later where it beat Jeopardy. So this isn't something new. It's something that we've all slowly grown a part of because it helps with the efficiency when we're talking to whatever company or trying to obtain whatever data that we need from the consumer. It doesn't matter if it's the flight number that needs changed or your hotel room that needs changed or your Medicare plan that needs changed. We need data from you so we can help you obviously make certain as a consumer standpoint that we're doing the right thing for you, right? Well, now there's all these additional terms, APIs, pulling data directly from, say, Connecture or Sunfire to get into your AI model. So that way your AI model is able to ask relative questions as opposed to just an FAQ, right? But this is not something new. Building AI into your company and allowing us to assist in building that AI into your company, I assure you will make you far superior down the road. One conversation I just had this morning was referring to Sears. Sears, Sears and Roebuck, right? Because they bought Roebuck back in the 30s. Sears and Roebuck owned the largest building in the United States, the Sears Tower, right? It was the tallest building downtown Chicago. They had 50,000 employees, 50,000 people working for Sears in this one building in downtown Chicago. They mailed out a catalog. You could buy a home out of Sears. They were the first Amazon ever, right? You could buy curtains, you could buy clothing, you could buy craftsman tools. Well, what happened to Sears? They didn't put money or technology into their workflow. They didn't embrace it. And so then they ended up selling off Craftsman back in the early 2000s, maybe. And then they brought on Land's End, begging people, please, if you bought Land's End online, return it to Sears and maybe you'll buy something. Well, no one wanted to wait 40 minutes or an hour to check out because your POS system was still from 1984. Do not operate your business with a POS system from 1984. Do not be Sears, because eventually we all understand what happened to Sears, right? They're gone. They could have been the Amazon. Had they embraced the internet, had they embraced putting money into their technology, they would not be where they're at today, correct? And that's why Amazon is doing so well. This I just took yesterday morning off of my newsfeed. You are not going to be able to get around the AI movement. And as this AI movement continues to grow, your consumer base, those that are accustomed to the AI talk, if you will, or providing that data to an AI agent, they will continue to embrace the AI as long as it's set up appropriately. So let's understand AI and its applications in modern business. AI basics in insurance, right? Exploring fundamental AI concepts relevant to insurance agents, life insurance, Medicare, health, annuity, doesn't matter. It allows for you to have drip campaigns, right? It allows for you to set up that correspondence with that consumer. It allows for you to know off of a workflow that your AI has already emailed Joyce because her Med Sup plan is 32 months out in the state of Michigan and you need to get renewed on your commission level. It allows for that basic FAQ. It allows for your consumer to never, ever deal with a full voicemail again because your AI assistant is there answering the call, letting the consumer know, obviously, legal, FCC, CMS compliance, right? That they are an assistant to you. You're on another call, and would you like to book an appointment with them? And then that AI agent obviously puts it on your appointment, so you know that next Tuesday you have a call with Jill, right? You never talk to Jill. You didn't have to do anything to obtain Jill's data because you're using a retire flow or you're using a whatever platform, cognitively forms or what have you that you're using, but you don't have to take the time out to play the phone tag with that consumer. Utilizing AI for personalized client engagement and improve service delivery, right? Answering your phones, booking calendar events, answering basic FAQ questions, not diving into it's going to write the app for me. We're very close to that. As an industry, I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't AI agents out there this AEP that are able to make it through pretty much 99% of the enrollment. Efficiency gains with AI tools. AI and the technology behind it streamline your processes and reduce your workload for agents. We've been recording calls since 2004. Okay, it's been over 20 years. We have millions of calls recorded, and we're able to track our internal agents on how many calls they're making to which consumer and what the outcome of that call is, right? Hopefully a sale and what policy, what product that consumer enrolled into. This last annual enrollment period, I saw one agent have 35 separate phone calls, 18 out, 17 back, with one consumer to help them with a non-commissionable prescription drug plan. The amount of wasted time on that one consumer. Now, granted, you can get referrals, right? Maybe you're writing a life case out of it or an annuity case. If your portfolio is large enough as an agent, you're able to take something out of that. But no one's ever going to take the time in which you're manually phoning or trying to get a hold of someone and playing phone tag with them because you don't have the efficiency set up. So if you take that one consumer and you multiply that out over a 59-day period of time, how many phone calls are you looking to make and accept? How much time do you have invested in that 59-day period of time to allow for you to work and not just be leaving voicemail? Hey, Joyce, it's me again. Sorry I missed you. Give me a call back. And then Joyce calls you back, but it's annual enrollment period. So you're always on the phone, or you better be, or you're not a busy individual working an efficient annual enrollment period, right? Case studies of AI implementations that have enhanced business practices, we could spend weeks on that. The reality is, it's everywhere. And if it's not in your practice, how can we help you build in the AI into your practice? You may be best friends with your current upline or FMO or whatever they want to, right, characterize themselves as. Agency principal would probably be a more fitting term. But they may have been doing this for 45 years, and they certainly are not embracing technology to teach you the technology for you to be efficient. Keep your business with them, but go out and write more business by allowing us to help implement that AI into your world. Past utilization of AI technologies in various industries, right? There have been so many changes, but we're all calling it the same word. And once again, it's not the same word. Press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish. That's not AI. But to a senior or to someone who doesn't know anything about AI, you could call it AI, right? Those telephone prompts, those have been around for absolutely ever. And we've been using them forever. Some people get really pissed off, right? Having to use a prompt. We try and avoid prompts by allowing the AI assistant to walk the consumer through where they need to go for which department, right? So that way the right person can handle that call. But nowadays, I don't care what credit card company you phone, the AI is asking you for your credit card number. The AI is asking you for your zip code. The AI is trying to make your call with their paid employee as efficient as it can be because it's so much cheaper paying 14 cents a minute for AI and maybe not even having to talk to an agent. So what about you as an agent, right? Sales is sales. Elite is elite is elite. It doesn't matter if you're in car sales. It doesn't matter if you're in Medicare sales. You get a hot lead. What's your next step in the workflow of working this individual, right? And how is your AI set up appropriately to be most efficient and not losing that personal touch? And I hear that all the time. I'm going to lose my personal touch with my consumer. They hate you already because they've tried to phone you 14 times and your voicemail's full. They've moved on. You lost that consumer because you're not embracing that technology. Streamlining your appointment process during the annual enrollment period. My preference would be a consumer phone me, talk to my AI assistant. My AI assistant sends them my Retire Flow link, right? Already built into our platform. That consumer then allows for me to be able to gather that data, collect the scope of appointment, no calendars booked for 48 hours out, right? 48-hour rule. But at that point in time, I have your data. So why don't I put your data into our system to make sure I'm helping you with the right plan, right? Going through the 3 steps of a Medicare Advantage plan, DSNP, or the 4 steps of a regular MA Medicare Advantage plan. I can do that without talking to you. I have your meds, I have your list of doctors and hospitals, and I have the data that I need. So now I can kick out an automated email to you saying, hey, Joyce, I got your data. I ran your data. Here's a link to my PURL. Please click here and enroll in the WellCare Premiums Zero Premium HMO plan, or enroll in the HAP, what, right? So I then remove Joyce off my calendar because there's no reason to have her on there. She has all the data that she needs. And Joyce has my PURL, so now she can just simply click the PURL and submit the application in the most compliant fashion possible. Did I spend a moment phoning Joyce? No. Did I spend a moment playing phone tag with Joyce? No. Is Joyce happy? Absolutely. Am I professional? More so than most. I immediately replied to Joyce. My voicemail wasn't full. She was able to talk to someone immediately, whether or not it's a live person or not. She's at least able to begin the process, right? And if you are a successful agent, I'll tell you the first few weeks of annual enrollment are outrageous, right? I mean, I've seen 16, 18 phone calls at one time pouring in. How you manage that business and your timeliness in getting back to consumers, they do not have patience. These boomers of the world today, they don't have any patience and their expectations are sky high. Well, why can't you? Well, I can't sign your name. This isn't property and casualty, right? There are steps we need to go through in regards to a scope of appointment at Medicare, or you need your financial agreement, right? If you're charging them, which a lot of agents are, how are you collecting that payment? Is it automated? Is your step-by-step process, your workflow, and I'll walk you through a workflow here in a moment, but is your step-by-step process automated? And if it's not, what can you automate to free up any personal time, family time, or business time this annual enrollment period? So you're not running ragged, driving all around town, putting 70,000 miles a year on your car to write 30 people or 50 people. Why can't you write 100? Why can't you write 250? Why can't you write 500 before annual enrollment period's over? It's not that much. It's 10 a day, right? If you didn't have to talk to them, you didn't play any phone tag with them, everything was automated. All now you need is the marketing or the leads. And why don't you let AI do that for you too? Insights. AI will tell you the story that no one else can tell you because they're the ones that are asking the blatant questions without the fluff, right? There's no sideline fluff. There, you can build it in. You want to put a joke in there, you certainly can. but there's no additional fluff. And even if there is, it's not wasting your time. So it does allow for you to be personal with that consumer, but let's continue to go back to the time in which you have 59 days, 8 Sundays, 2 holidays if you include Halloween. You have 49 days to produce as much business as humanly possible, right? That's the whole goal. How many consumers can we help in this very limited time period? Let AI help you. Call recording requirements. As I have toured and have met with many agencies and even more agents this year, I am dumbfounded with how many agents are still not recording their calls. Let's start there. You need to record your call. You need to store it for 10 years, HIPAA secure. If your system does not allow for you to store those calls or there's a cold storage fee, then that ends up becoming a very pricey endeavor for you, where now you're having to take your calls out of whatever platform, oh no, 8x8, whatever, right? There's dozens of them out there. You need to remove those calls, put them on your own server, not in your office, off site, and have that be HIPAA secured. Most agents, frankly, don't have the bandwidth for that. Your recording of your sales, your recording of your marketing, your recording of your enrollment calls. If you're still out in the field, belly to belly with consumers, you may want to consider looking at a call center style contract to allow for you just to work out. And I have, right, a laxed background, but it allows for you to work in such a more efficient means. Do you have to do everyone telephonically? No. You can still go belly to belly. But my question to you is the last 3 days of annual enrollment period, when all your consumers that may have been kicking tires, waiting for an app in the mail, didn't find your email, and now they're blowing up your phone, no agent has the amount of time required to go button up all these cases in the last 2 or 3 days of annual enrollment. So why don't you just simply close them telephonically over the phone? Obviously, you need to have the right script. You need to have your rate number if you're using a send, right? Which the carriers in some cases are providing some of this to the agents. Or you just have a call center contract, which allows for you to do both and collect that voice signature by utilizing a CMS approved script, but read by who? Your AI assistant, right? You're not wasting 17 minutes reading a script to someone or 7 minutes reading a script to someone. It's wasted time. Let your assistant take care of all of that for you. This is obviously off the 2026 Braven, right? Anthem, New Jersey, I believe this is. They are expecting that everything be recorded, everything be documented. If you do not have a CRM established or in place, we'll walk through that here in just a moment's time as well. But there's no more hiding behind a bush saying, I didn't know. I'm 82 years old. I didn't know. You need to know this. You do know this. And I'm hoping through 2026 with my talks with CMS and carriers that agents start getting fined and losing their renewals and losing the ability to write that carrier if they're not upholding the carrier's contract. You're signing a contract, right? So there is no more being naive that you didn't know, right? That case is over. This has been going on for 3 years now. So once again, part of the AI conversation is just making sure that through this whole sales process that you're compliant and that you're making sure that you remain compliant to keep your carrier contracts and that you're not listening to your agency principal who says, I've been doing this 40 years and I've never been busted. Because, it's going to end up happening that they're going to pull your ticket. And what are you going to do as a self-employed, independent 1099 agent, right? It's all on you. So you are self-employed with the guidance of a principal or an agency. But if the principal or the agency doesn't know what they're doing either, then obviously those agents may find themselves in a pickle down the road. Navigating the future of AI and customer service and engagement. There are so many future trends. There's so many companies popping about. Nice AI is doing amazing things on their back end. Conversely, AI is doing amazing things on their back end. Shout out to both of them. The problem is, frankly, that most AIs are still pulling off a Chat GPT-3 or GPT-4. It's an open network. And that's where the scary part of AI starts coming into play. That's where everyone starts saying that it's running rogue, right? That it's taking information from outside vendors. It's going to a Ritter website, or it's going to an integrity website, or it's going to someone's got data on a website and ChatGPT is pulling from it. And if you haven't played around with ChatGPT, do so, right? It's free to do. ChatGPT.com. You're going to need to create an account. But when you enter a question, you can see where it's pulling this data from, right? It's kind of like if you homeschool your child, you can ensure that your child never hears the F bomb, and you can have control over that child. But the moment that you send your kid to public schools, they're going to come home the following day knowing a whole new vocabulary. And so when building out any AI, it has to be controlled. Really, you have to own that AI and do it in an off-site fashion. Otherwise, it's basically in public school pulling all this data and then filling your sentences with this data. And that's when things start quickly going awry. So if you are looking at going down your own AI path, just recognize everyone's using the Chat GPT until you have a house of developers that can build this out on their own. Strategies for leveraging AI to improve customer satisfaction and engagement continues to be on the forefront. Do you like my service? Rate me on Google. Do you like my service? Leave me a review. Do you like my service? Is there anything else I can help you with in the quickest time period possible? I've explained for many, many years that October 1st to October 15th is the meat of my annual enrollment period. That is the time where my clients have been trained to reach out to me. That's the time in which all my marketing hits October 1st. And at that point in time, if I can efficiently handle, call it 75% of my book of business, 50% of my book of business, if I can handle those people efficiently, get them the data I need to provide them the information they need, that after October 15th, they don't have anything to talk about except how amazing their agent is because they're done. October 15th, their enrollment goes down. Everyone's happy as a clam. They're done. I'm done. Moving on to a next client. And then the referrals just begin to come in. And it's not that I lost that personal touch by any means with that consumer. It's the fact that I'm so professional in what I do and my timely responses because of my AI assistant that my consumer never has a fear that they can't get a hold of me, that they can't schedule an appointment with me, that I'm not in the industry, because all of that information is continuously fed to them. Assisting clients in making informed decisions. This is a huge topic right now. And everyone's missing a couple data points, right? One, it began to be illegal to ask a consumer their health on a Medicare Advantage plan, right? We can only ask meds and doctors. But what if you could obtain the utilization? What if you knew that on carrier A, their podiatry copayments were $50 per visit, and on carrier B, it was $10 per visit, and your client saw the podiatrist 40 times last year? So now we're able to save this consumer, what, $1,200? My math is right. $1,200 just on podiatry alone. What if your AI assistant was able to pull this information via what's called an API, right? All we're doing is tapping our server into someone's server who has that data, right? But if your AI is able to tap into that information and be able to have a full conversation with the consumer, that's really where this industry is going, and going in a very quick fashion. So as agents go, Don't be Sears once again. You need to at least keep up with the industry of where the industry is going, because we will be the forefronters of teaching those consumers how to act, how to respond, what questions they can answer, etc., utilizing an AI assistant. This is not something new. More importantly, it will increase everything that you're doing at least tenfold. Your customer service will improve. Your number of referrals will increase significantly. Your time in which you're on the phones will decrease. The number of phone tags that you do will decrease. Even if you're visiting a consumer face to face, the number of times that you're porched will decrease. And realistically, I was in the field for many years. My porch ratio was always about 12 to 15%. It's probably pretty industry standard. And that was following up with everyone, sending them a text or an email ahead of time, phoning them, asking them stupid questions before we even had something that looked like this, right? We didn't have GPS. I had a map of every road in the county at that point in time. The time wasted is so significant in your world that if you began to track it, you you your heart would sink at how much time you wasted doing phone tag, wasted doing skills that your AI assistant can simply do. Let's understand some basics of AI. It's comprehending what truly entails and its applications in your workflow. So, do you have a large language model that your AI is pulling from to have a conversation? If so, all your AI is doing is guessing at what's going to be said next and guessing at what the reply should be, right? And that's all programmed in. But more importantly, it goes back to the basics of AI, the telephone prompts being considered AI, or that voice on the other end being considered AI. Some of that just simply isn't AI. I think we went through why it is necessary and how it creates the customer experience that your clients expect. You expect it as well. So, as a consumer, start looking at where you're placing your business. I'll give you a few examples. I needed my grass mowed. The lawn service, whoa, their communication was horrific. I didn't get a invoice for days later. They didn't have anything set up as a workflow to help me understand that I was important. Really important to recognize and to really take inventory on your day-to-day life at how inept, frankly, our society is, and not to be part of it. Pinpointing tasks that can be automated for efficiency, right? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? What drives you nuts? Is it returning phone calls because you were on a phone call, or having a consumer phone you 8 times in 30 minutes, which happens? Where can you save time to enjoy more of your life and still make more money? Sending reminders to clients, drip campaigns, answering basic FAQs when they call. When's annual enrollment again? I forgot. I need you on my calendar. Annual enrollment's October 15th to December 7th. We'll text you over Retire Flow. Thanks for reaching out to us, right? And now I start collecting that data. Selecting appropriate AI tools like Agents Elite Tech for your specific needs. We partner with Agents Elite Tech. That's who we use for our CRM platform. Calls are recorded and stored for 10 years compliantly. We have AI workflows built in for not only our call center agents, but also offered to our field agents through Agents Elite Tech. It was created obviously by agents for agents. And this platform provides the business in a box with enabled AI to streamline your business applications. It just simply does. Once again, you may be best friends with your upline. They may promise you $50 an app or whatever it may be, bonusing agents still. The reality is, if you're only writing 20 apps during annual enrollment, $50 an app means jack, right? It's an extra $1,000. And if that's what your life determines, you're you're not heading for success as an agent standpoint goes. And I've gone through more webinars, right? The average income of an agent this year is $28,000 average. Half or below that. Half of every agent makes less than $28,000 a year pre-tax, pre-mileage, pre-phone calls, pre-cell phone, pre-everything. Quit wasting your time and start earning an amazing income in this industry. Conducting trials, right, during quiet periods. Right now is a quiet period. We know this. We have about 6 weeks until the annual enrollment period begins to make sure that everything is squeaky clean and the diamond is completely polished prior to entering the annual enrollment period for our agent community. And that's something that Agents Elite Tech has done a bang up job in helping us with. Reducing your phone tag. Once again, have your AI handle your phone calls without paying a staff to do so. There's a lot of agencies out there that have 5, 6 agents, maybe some are in-house. And that agency has Debbie sitting at the front desk answering every call that comes in. And they're having to pay Debbie to do so. Why have a Debbie? Why don't you just set up a phone number to allow a round robin situation, if you will, with that agent and be able to take the leads coming in to pass them through and set up priorities for your top producing agents or whatever you may need to do. But why not have that all be automated to save the money and the human error when Debbie writes down their phone number wrong or it's chicken scratch because she has MS because you could only find an 80-year-old Debbie? Why are you dealing with this any longer? That's what Sears did. Do not be Sears. Quit with the phone tag. Stop it. Do not spend 9 hours and 49 days returning someone's phone call. It's a waste of time. Utilizing AI to improve communication and service delivery during peak seasons, right? OEP, AEP, very heavy trafficked seasons. And if you're doing your marketing correctly, or we're assisting you with your marketing, or you have AI implemented with your marketing, then you're targeting the right group of individuals and your marketing dollars are going as far as they can. Your ROI, right? Your return on investment is as high as you can get it. So you have more money to then market further the following year and continue to grow the beast, right? You got to continue to put money in so it grows the beast. But are you tracking any of this data right now? You may be able to go back and like pull a Verizon cell phone bill if you're still on a cell phone, your Sprint cell phone bill, and you may be able to put it into an Excel if you choose to take the time, but I would encourage you to do so. Take last AEP, take all the phone calls, put it on a pivot table and see how many times you called the same 303 number, right? Or whatever area code you're currently in. I think you'll be astonished at how much time you actually wasted. Automating appointment bookings, FAQs to focus on high value client conversations, right? With PDP commissions being phased out, there are a few carriers I'm hoping that you're seeing, right? Cigna now is paying commissions on both their plans. WellCare is still no longer paying commissions. United Health has many plans, both Medicare Advantage and PDP, not paying commissions on. If you're not aware of this, please reach out to us or please reach out to your upline. I'm not saying to not hold a fiduciary standard, right? I feel that being a fiduciary is incredibly important. I'm going to tell my client, look, I don't make any money in assisting you. I don't. But this is what my job is to help you get through the muddy waters of Medicare. But if you're not getting paid on someone, there should not ever be a phone call made out. You should not be talking to that consumer. And this should be automated. And if you do talk to the consumer, to not lose that personal touch, 5 minutes or less, but it's not gathering their levothyroxine dosage and frequency, right? You can do all of that through automation. Because frankly, there is no time to spend on these clients. You have to automate the process. Otherwise, you're going to come in my office in January and bitch. I wrote 120 prescription drug plans and I'm not getting paid on any of them. Yeah, we're all aware of this. How much time did you spend on them? Can you write 120 prescription drug plans in under 6 hours? I bet you could. So you get the data, you run the data, you send out a draft email, the consumer clicks your PURL, no scope of appointment needed. We never conversed, right? And you're also going through my PURL. So once again, no 48-hour rule engaged, but you better be taking advantage of that automation behind the scenes. If you don't have a list of your PURLs, if you're not organized with all of that, you have 6 weeks to get yourself organized, right? You have 6 weeks prior to the floodgates opening, even if you want to tell yourself that it really doesn't begin until October 15th. Using AI to tailor interactions based on an individual client needs and preferences. Does Joyce want to be emailed or texted? Do we even know? You may have worked a consumer for 15 years and then picked up Retire Flow last year and realized that they have an email. Why are you mailing paper apps out? Why are you driving to their home any longer? Why are you wasting your time to go get porched or leave your kid with a babysitter? Whatever you're doing in life to try and help Joyce, automate this. It obviously improves your response times. It ensures swift answers to client inquiries. No more full voicemails. No more taking, I've even heard agents' voicemails say, I'll reach back out to you in 24 hours or less. You're not that busy, trust me. I, I see the production come across. You don't need a whole day to reach back out to that consumer. But once again, maybe you do if it's the beginning of annual enrollment period and they're 100 down on your list or 200 down on your list and it's October 9th and you're just trying to manage and get through the first few weeks, they will go somewhere else. If they cannot get a hold of you, how many times are they going to attempt someone who has a busy voicemail? How many times are they going to listen to the same, hey, it's Bill, I'm out of office, leave me a information after the beep, right? They're tired of hearing that voice. They don't want to deal with that and they're going to move on, just like the consumer has moved on from Sears. Agents Elite Tech has seamlessly combined AI tools embedded in every workflow. They're already set up. They took care of all of this for us. So that way that allows for us to once again continue to assist our field agents, as well as having the technology, the HIPAA security and the compliance to have a call center, right? And to have call center agents. Many field agents are call center agents, but no call center agent obviously is a field agent because they don't want to waste their time. It's not how they work, right? They're telephonic only. Your efficiency. These aren't my numbers. These are actual numbers that we've pulled not only from ChatGPT for the industry, but numbers that we pull on an annual basis, just understanding the usage, the utilization of your annual enrollment period timeframe. I should never hear from an agent that they don't want to lead because they're too busy. Busy. I'm so busy running around. You should you should be able to accept leads day and night and work them. And many you can work really without even knowing that you're working them. But your appointment booking, let me check my calendar. Why doesn't your AI just have that already at their fingertips when the consumer's on the call? So that way tomorrow at 10, you just wake up and see that you have an appointment booked with Jill because your assistant took care of it. Using your AI for calls, obviously CMS compliance, FCC compliance, A2P compliance, right? There's a lot of compliance and laws around outbound calls, but accepting that inbound call and not having to listen to 18 voicemails from Bill. Hey, it's Bill again. Just trying to catch up with you. I can't do it. I frankly have some PTSD of hearing the same voicemails over. I just can't do it. So thank God there's transcription now, right? Where your voicemails are transcribed using what? AI to transcribe those calls to then load that call into your CRM platform. Your client interaction enhancement, those drip emails. Are you sending out birthday cards? I highly doubt it. Are you sending out holiday cards? I highly doubt it. Are you sending out quarterly newsletters? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it because agents talk about this all throughout the year that they're going to start doing this, but yet time gets in the way. Going back and organizing your business gets in the way, family gets in the way, health gets in the way, life gets in the way, right? So, what if your assistant could handle that for you? What if your assistant could send out a nice birthday call? Hey, I just want to let you know, happy birthday to you, right? From your friends at the office of whoever. What if it could send out a phone call at the 32-month stage of a med sup policy? Hey, I just want to let you know, your rates are going to go up here in a couple months' time. When you get that letter with your rate increase, I need you to phone us back. Us, me and my assistant, us, right? I'm not, in your eyes, they could be human. You may not even know that they're not ever human the way that they're conversing with you nowadays. So I need to make sure that my bell curve on my commission remains as high as I can keep it. And if you're not aware of this, Oklahoma pays hot and heavy for a year, Michigan pays hot and heavy for 3 years. After that third year, you're really not getting paid on that MedSup policy. But now your consumer's still phoning you, asking you to service their prescription drug plan, and you're not getting paid on that either. So you're not efficient in conducting your business because you're only getting paid 46 cents a month on the Mutual of Omaha policy that's 9 years old, but yet you can't move the consumer because they're sick or whatever, and yet you're still spending time on a non-commissionable prescription drug plan. Are you kidding me? You're working for free. You are literally working for free. Stop working for free. Do you need to charge the consumer? Well, we went down that path, and that's certainly something that I would suggest that you do not do. You may piss off some consumers, right? But if you're not getting paid from them anyway, obviously I'm all about the referrals. I'm all about obtaining that referral. And I'm all about working that referral and massaging that referral to get another referral because referrals are damn near cheap to produce, right? So, as you think about AI, and as this hour-long webinar begins to come to a close, if you have any questions, certainly throw them up in the chat area, and we'll make sure that we're answering them in a timely fashion. I'll bring you into my CRM seat for a moment. So this is my CRM seat, right? Here's Jill. I have an appointment with Jill in 2 days because all my tasks appear right in front of me. So I just need to wake up. I can always change this, right? All tasks, completed tasks. All I care about is pending tasks. What do I have to do tomorrow? What do I have to do this week? My retire flow, shout out to Dalton and his crew for allowing retire flow to be built into the Go Elite Tech app. Thank you all for integrating that. But you have your retire flow already built in as well. So if a consumer goes to your QR code that maybe is on your postcard that takes them to retire flow, they fill out that information, it goes directly into your Go Elite Tech app. I have all the meds, I have all of the doctors. The consumer knows that I have it. Why? Because my assistant already reached out to them and let them know, hey, you have this, right? But as I go through either my contacts or I go through my opportunities, I'm able to keep everything very organized within that workflow. And the AI will take care of the rest. So when I get a new contact or a hot lead, it populates in. And then when I end up speaking to that consumer and making a calendar event, or my assistant did, then obviously it just simply moves that consumer from one disposition to another. What it allows for me as an agent is to know that, one, I have a follow-up call with this person. They're in my follow-up call bucket. I'm working that consumer. Once that consumer is worked, I'm going to write her, right? Obviously, that's what I do is I write business. So I'm not assuming I'm going to close her. I already know mentally I'm going to write her on whatever date the appointment is made. Once I move her from a follow-up call into an app issued in, excuse me, app submitted status, Jill is going to get an email saying, hey, your app's been submitted. Hang tight, we'll be back with you in a couple days. A few days later, I'll see that the application's been issued, right? The carrier said, hey, the app's been issued, or you got something, MAPD from the carrier saying, here's the policy number, welcome to Cigna, or whatever it may be. At that point in time, the system, all I need to do is move her from app submitted to app issued, and then my AI assistant takes care of the rest. About a week later, on a MedSup sale, maybe a month and a half, 2 months later on a Medicare Advantage plan sale, if you're being heaped commissions through custom health insurance professionals, obviously you get paid in a couple days' time. If you're a field agent, most of us get paid mid-February or March for that 1/1 effective date. When I get paid and I move this consumer to a policy paid situation, let the AI assistant kick in again, right? Do you have everything you need? Do you have your cards? Do you have your paperwork? Do you have your evidence of coverage, your explanation of benefits? Have you scheduled your dental appointment yet? Have you used your OTC benefits yet? Do you know that I write people with final expense? Do you know that I offer? Do you know that this, that, or the other? So within the system itself, all I'm doing as an agent is just moving you down the trail of the workflow. And that's, excuse me, all that I need to do. And my assistant takes care of the rest. So it allows for me to have impeccable customer service. You do not follow up with your clients in the manner in which I follow up with my clients. You just simply don't. And that's okay. You may not have time because you're still running around town trying to find clients, or you're running around town sitting in an Oak Street Health as an agent of the day, or whatever it may be, that you think you're getting these leads, but in reality, you're just getting the crumbs of people that haven't found a professional agent yet, haven't found an agent that doesn't have full voicemail, hasn't found an agent that doesn't follow up on my birthday, doesn't send me a holiday email, doesn't send me a retire flow, doesn't communicate the way that I need to as a senior, or as someone who's not a senior, but doesn't follow up and communicate effectively. I beg of you, take the next 6 weeks out, go back through our previous webinars, go on the YouTube channel under SES Agents, go on the YouTube channel under Custom Health Insurance Professionals, but get your book together and think about implementing some kind of CRM platform, whether it's through Agents Elite Tech, whether it's, you're going to have to build it. You don't have 6 weeks. If you haven't started it, you're not going to by annual enrollment, right? So let's just realize that you're busy enough right now with 6 weeks remaining. Hop on the Agents Elite Tech website, contract with Agents Elite Tech. You don't have to move any of your book of business. We don't want that, right? You want to write business with us? You want to have a call center contract? Sweet. Love to help you and take you on. If you want to remain with your current agency and they're not offering, which they're not offering, platforms like Agents Elite Tech or CRM, AI platforms to you, you can pick up an Agents Elite Tech contract, utilize their AI, utilize their CRM, and still write business through your current agency if that's what you choose to do. But I cannot implore to you enough that if you don't change what you're doing, you're going to have the same outcome of what you've had, right? It's that famous insanity. You keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And if you're expecting different results, it's not going to happen. If 5 sales more this AEP changes your life, we have a problem. If 10 sales more this AEP changes your life, we have a problem. You're not making enough money because you don't have the efficiency behind you to keep your people on the books, to let them know I'm still in the industry, I'm still here to service you, I'm still a professional, and you're not obtaining referrals. Leverage your CRM, leverage your AI to be that professional, that business, and not a salesman, a businessman, right? Anyone can sell anyone anything. I mean, granted, there's some great salesmen out there, but a businessman takes care of the consumer outside of just collecting the application at the kitchen table or saying, enjoy your policy and hanging up on them and never conversing with them again. If you are that type of agent, you are spending so much time marketing and trying to rebuild your book of business year after year after year after year after year that you're just spinning your tires in mud. You're not getting anywhere. Look at your taxes. Go back to 21, 22, 23, 24. Go back as long as you wish as an individual. And where did your income go up? Where did it go down? Or did it just simply stay about the same? Because if you're an average agent, you're making 28,000 a year, you're in the wrong industry. You just are. Or you need to figure out the tools to be able to help more people. There's a lot of agents out there and their hearts are huge and they spend so much time helping the consumer, but they spend so much time helping so few consumers that they simply remain broke. They're basically a social worker out there, right? And that is a hat that many of us put on. We put on the social worker hat. We put on the insurance agent hat. We put on the IT person's hat so we can help them through their find the application. We put so many hats on, marketing hat, compliance hat, whatever the case may be, that as we go through our career, it's certainly something very important to recognize that you can take off a few of these hats now. You don't have to be doing all of it because there are assistants out there, there are programs out there. And I cannot wait until the September 11th because we're going to do a deep dive into the CRM. We're going to show you exactly how it works, how to ask questions, how to implement it, how it will help you significantly increase your revenue and decrease the amount of time in which you're working to obtain that revenue. So, super excited that you've been on. I know we're just about out of time. I will always be uberly punctual when it comes to our webinars. Once again, my name's John Fallett. If you need anything, reach out to me or our staff. If you're looking to have a call center contract to collect voice signatures, reach out to myself or our staff. If you're just looking for a CRM that's going to help you build your efficiency and increase your income, please reach out to our staff. I'll be on September 11th. I don't see too many other questions that are populating or popping up. So at this point in time, I'm going to end our recording. Thank you all for being on. Really looking forward to September 11th, where this kickoff goes national. And we show you how to implement your Retire Flow if you already have one, or what Retire Flow is if you're not already using it. Building your calendar into your workflow, and improving that efficiency with conversing with your consumers. So once again,